Now that we're getting in like a pretty steady amount of deals, is what to keep, what to sell. The market's just nuts right now. I mean,
Mm,
appraisals, you don't really know where those are going to come in. I think there's a lot of challenges. It just depends on the deal. And maybe it's time too, because now that like we're getting out there and we're doing things, like I feel like everybody wants a piece of your time. And you have to be intentional again as to what you say yes to and what you say no to. So there's a lot of different challenges. I can't really define what one in particular is. I think time is always going to be my greatest challenge,
hmm
though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very. We only have 24 hours. Everybody has the same amount, and what do you do with that? Because we all want to do so much, especially in the driven personalities. We want to do everything,
Yes.
and we can.
Yes.
I think I've
Absolutely.
said that to you before. I'm like,
Yes.
I have said that on the phone. I said you can't do everything.
You
You
can't. You
have
just
to
have to
say
say no.
no.
You
That's
do. And that's really hard.
yeah.
I always try to say it if there's any like females out there, anyone out there that's like, how do you say no? Say my heart wants to say yes. Like I would love to say yes to this, but I'm torn. I just have to say no. I don't have
hmm
margin in my life right now.
Yeah.
So express the desire that like you would love to, but unfortunately you just can't. I
Yeah.
think people respect that.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna steal that from you. Sounds good. So one other thing is, I saw a post a month or two ago about you kind of teaching your kids about entrepreneurship. And this is really, really cool. And I even think a lot of entrepreneurs, again, they kind of are doing their own thing, they're busy, but they forget to instill the knowledge and the things that they're learning into their kids' lives, or they just don't know how to do it, right? Because it's a little bit different. So like I saw you were kind of doing a little bit of a business project with Kennedy, I believe, and talk to us about that and like how important it is to you to, you're learning a lot of these tactics now, these strategies, and now you're teaching it to your what 7 year old, 8 year
Yeah,
old.
I
So
am. Yes. And that's one of my goals. Like I want to teach kids like what financial freedom really is and how to be a good steward of what they have, right? Sorry, Brett. Um, so what we did was, and you may know, like I'm obsessed with making strawberry jam. It's just something that I do. I love traditions.
hmm
So we go out to this farm. It's like a little organic farm down the road. And we pick probably 20 pounds of berries. And so we usually make like 120 to 140 jars of jam, which is just insane. You're like, who needs that much strawberry jam? But we sold them and we actually sold, I think, 82 jars total at $10 a pop. And so I told Kennedy, you're going to pay me for all of your expenses, all of the lids, all the jars, the strawberries, the sugar, all of that. We also took what she had in her piggy bank, which was $27.
hmm
So in a matter of 1 month of selling 82 jars of jams and just putting it online, hey, this is what we're doing. Kennedy has a dream one day of owning a pony or a puppy. Would you help support her? There were all of these, yes, 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 2 jars, 4 jars, 10 jars. I'm like, what is happening, Kennedy? Jamming for an entire week. And so yeah, we hand delivered almost all of them. I have two families up in Michigan. I have to get it to another person in Michigan and then someone in Logansport. But she made probably 740 bucks. Oh
wow,
yeah,
that is
of all
that,
that so
that's
far.
that's amazing, and that's just a start.
Amazing.
That's just
Just
a
start.
yeah, it's just a start because it takes me back when I was a kid. And again, I always loved entrepreneurship and I would do little things like that. And I remember I talked to my mom, and this was around middle school. And I realized that everybody in middle school wanted gum after they ate lunch because, we're eating Doritos or Ho-Hos or whatever, and our breath would stink. We're trying to attract the opposite sex typically. So everybody would go around and say, does anybody have a piece of gum? So I said, Mom, there's a need for gum at school. So let's go buy a bunch of gum. So we go to like Sam's Club, buy big packages of gum, and then I would go and then I'd be the gum guy. And people needed gum. They'd say, I'll go see Brett. And I'd have all these pieces of gum and I'd sell each for a quarter and I'd make some money. Anyways, long story short, that was just a start. And it's just, I do the same thing today. It's just houses with a little bit more zeros on it,
Yeah,
right? It's
the
just the same.
same thing, just more zeros. I agree.
Yeah.
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 And
So
I
that's cool.
think like you have to let your kid choose too. You can't just tell your child what they're going to do. You have to say,
hmm
hey, listen, if you were to do a project like this, what would you want to do? And so I tried to make something like different or identifiable, something she was passionate. She goes, Mom, we love to pick strawberries. I'm like, well, would you want to make something with strawberries? I'm like, what is delicious that's made with strawberries? And so I kind of led her to the water.
right.
She drank right from it.
That's right. It's
But
like jam.
Oh, and I had her on like a little train. She was cutting out all the little lids. So, I mean, 80 lids with those scissors, like the little cloth lids,
Yes.
that's a lot. So she definitely worked for it.
Yeah.
And I have to say too, so our strategy in that also was to help her understand like where the money goes.
Hmm.
So we paid our expenses, and then, we're Christian. So we tithed part of that. So she tithed $75 for the first time at our church, which was awesome to do, because
Yes.
I let her choose the number. I'm like, okay, this is what we should do. What do you feel led to do? She's like, let's do 75. And then the rest is going into savings. I think 10% spending and the rest savings.
Awesome.
So
I love it.
yeah, it was great.
I love that. So teach your kids about entrepreneurship, guys. Take that time. And I know it took a lot of effort for you too, just to kind of sit down and, figure it out. Because when your kids are involved, it takes so much more time because you're trying to teach them as well. So that's cool. Melissa, last question before we go in the last section of this show is, so we talk a lot about BHAGs in business, which basically are big, hairy, audacious goals. And I like to talk about BHAGs in life too. So a BHAG, guys, is basically, it's this big goal that you look out, maybe it's 10 years to 30 years down the road in your life or in your business. And what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to look back and what do you want to achieve? So, Melissa, if I were to ask you, if you were to look at your life, let's just use 10 years from now. Sometimes 30 years is too far. So 10 years, you got this decade. I think you said you just turned 39. So you're entering into that age of wisdom here pretty soon. By the time 10 years rolls around, you're 49, 50 years old. What do you want this next decade to be?
That's crazy. So I think really by the end of the year, we want to start, I think, having 10 properties. And so it's so crazy. I guess I start there because what I thought I could accomplish in, maybe 5 years, I'm now accomplishing in like a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so hard to even think what 10 years will be. I will tell you my dream. Like my dream is to design like luxury properties, do some sort of a development. I don't know what it looks like, but I've always had a dream to develop something. So whether it's, Airbnbs or whether it's a development on the beach, I mean, I know I have my own style and I have my own design element. That would be incredible to do that. And to be able to own some of those, to be able to gift them to people that are doing the really hard work, right? Like Ben is a firefighter. They do not get a break, and they have, a lot of, thank God Ben has been protected, but they have like PTSD over things, right? And so just to provide like an oasis or a gift that we could give to go away, that would be such a great gift to give to somebody. So
that would be cool. I could definitely see you doing that and doing the luxury properties. And you just gifted, I think, one of your contractors a property, right? You were able to do that? That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a huge blessing. He's been by our side the last few years. And so we got in a property and we just popped it over to him for his mom and mother-in-law. Yeah.
So cool. So cool. Well, if you ever get into the luxury property, do an Airbnb thing, I definitely want to check it out. We'll do another episode on that. So that would be really, really cool. So awesome. Invite the Snodgrasses. Sounds good, Melissa. Well, hey, if someone wants to reach out to you, I always want to just offer you this. Where's the best place for them to reach out to Melissa Asbury?
So they can go to Instagram at the Melissa Asbury, or they can go to Facebook, and that is just Melissa Asbury. You'll see my face. So they can hit me up there. Check out our website, thebuyinghouse.com. I'm pretty responsive. Yeah. So
sounds good. Check that out, guys. We're going to put that in the description on our notes on the Brett Snodgrass YouTube channel, so check that out as well. Thank you so much for checking out the Brett Snodgrass channel. If you like this video, please slam on that like button, and if you really like it, then subscribe to our channel here. And remember to leave us a comment below, and I'm going to try my hardest to reply to all the comments. Thank you guys so much. This is why I do what I do. Every single week, I come out with content that focuses on success, freedom, and living out your purpose. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.